Hello, hello, hello. Hey, hey, hey. Come on in and get comfortable. Welcome or welcome back to Reading Beyond the Book Cover, where we stay reading beyond the book's cover. My name is Jaleesa. Welcome if it's your first time, and welcome back if you are returning. If you don't feel welcome, just know that you are, okay? So, y'all, I thought about this for a while when it comes to talking about this book. It's not a problematic book, far from it. The book I'm talking about is Direwood by Catherine Yu. I read it in May. I did a buddy read with a friend of mine, Keita, at the Resistance Book Club. And we read it as part of AAPI month. I read that book as well as The Sacrifice by Ren Chupeko. Direwood in particular, the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because although I gave it 2 stars, I feel that it's one of those books that needs to be discussed because it's a perfect example of a book where telling versus showing becomes a problem. So the author chose to tell more than anything else. For me, when it came to enjoying the book or my reading experience, it made it very, very difficult to really like it and to really be immersed in the story. And I don't like having to emphasize how much I don't like something because it's almost the same. For me, it feels like I'm insinuating that, this person can't write. No, not saying that. I'm not saying the person can't write. They can write. They wrote a whole book, a whole ass book. I haven't written a book. So kudos to them. But I feel like the book suffered because there was so much telling and not enough showing. And I'm going to be saying that quite a bit. If that's going to get on your nerves, just go on ahead. Before you leave, though, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, follow, do all the things, and then just click on out. Because if you're not here for a rant, reflection, review, all the R's, just go, okay? Because I'm not going to fight back and forth in the comments with nobody about my opinion. So, anyhow, I'm going to let you all go and get some water because I'm going to need some as well. I don't know how long we're going to be here. We're going to be here for a minute talking about this book. I'm going to first tell you about the synopsis and my likes and dislikes and what I wanted more of and who I suggested to and all that good stuff. Like basically almost the same as how I format my book reviews on my blog, which I will be doing for this book as well. But I wanted to go ahead and do the podcast episode first and then attach it to the blog post when I post it, which will hopefully be today after I come back home from a party. My friend graduated. Shout out to Tempest. She graduated from medical school, so we're having a graduation lunch/dinner for her, and I'll be going there in a couple of hours. So I need to get this done as far as just recording and then get on out of there. But yeah, that's all I'll be up to. But yeah, go ahead, get you some water, come on back, and then we're going to jump into this. And hopefully it doesn't go off the rails. Wish me luck. Alrighty, welcome back. I hope that you have a beverage, snack, something on hand. And we're going to go on ahead and jump into reading the synopsis for Direwood by Catherine Yu. Like I said before, I did not read the synopsis before I read the book, so I'm going to be surprised as I read to see which parts I actually remember and which ones I don't. Because if you haven't checked my Storygraph or Goodreads yet, I gave this book 2 stars. So let's see. I'm going to try not to react as I read the synopsis. And the synopsis reads as follows. Aja and Fiona live in Glen Hills, a small town plagued by a mysterious fog. At night, it rains black stones and a pair of vampires roams the town. With so many perils lurking in the night, everyone in town observes a curfew. But when her older sister disappears, Aja follows a vampire through the fog and into the forest to find her. There, Aja discovers the vampire's lair in a ruined church, filled with her former classmates, most of them turned into enthralled servants. Now Aja, along with her friend Nico and ex-BFF Mary, must face their own differences and work together to escape. But while Aja tries to find and save her friends, her sister, and herself, she must also come to terms with her own secret truth. She's fascinated by the very monster who lured her in. All right, so before I jump into the likes, I just want to mention this. So after reading the synopsis, I don't remember. I feel so bad. I'm pretty sure most likely this was at the setup of the book and the beginning of it. I do not remember black stones raining down. I do remember the main character, Aja, who we're in the head of all of the book. Um, I remember her mentioning, like, it looked like it was raining blood or something like that. And if I remember correctly, her parents and her sister were saying that, oh, it just looks like that because of some kind of tree. There's some kind of tree they have that I think has leaves, branches, something where when it blows into the wind, it mixes in with the rain, and it makes it look like it's raining blood. But I don't remember black stones. I do remember the fog, and I don't remember a curfew. That's just how much I didn't really pay attention to the first part, and that's a shame. I do not remember her friend Nico. I do remember her ex-BFF friend Mary. I think that's about it. Yeah, some of this stuff is a little bit hazy. That's crazy to me that I do not remember that much. That much of the synopsis. I'm like, who's Nico? And when did they say, the rain and the curfew, the rain and the black stones? So, child, either my memory is bad or the setup, like the world building, was forgettable. I'm thinking it's the world building. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go into the likes. I just had to mention that because I was surprised. I was trying to get this to make sure that surprise wasn't like stuck in my voice. Like, I don't remember that. But I'm pretty sure it's in there somewhere. But yeah, I just had to mention that. Alrighty. So my likes. I only have one. And I have to breathe before because I really wish I had more to like. But what I like most about this book is the descriptions. In particular, when describing the caterpillars and how I think there were butterflies as well that were siphoning blood from people. I really enjoyed the descriptions of those, as well as when they were crawling in and out of bodies. And it was just my perfect kind of, not necessarily gory, but like uncomfortable, unsettling descriptions, because that's my jam. I want my skin to crawl when I'm reading a scene with bugs. I want to feel itchy, that kind of stuff. So Catherine, you did a very good job with that, at least in my opinion. She was successful in making sure that I felt uncomfortable while reading about the books, not books, I'm sorry, the bugs. So if that's something that you're not into, if that bothers you, specifically caterpillars and butterflies, or was it moths? Either or, if that's something you're not comfortable with, please, I implore you, you may not want to pick this book up. it's a warning. But since this is a spoilery book chat and review, I wanted to give you all like a little taste of a passage that really had my mouth open, and when I really was just kind of like, ugh, yuck, gross kind of feeling, which is something that I enjoy. I enjoy in the sense of it's a visceral, experience. So to see someone or witness someone writing something that makes me feel that way, it makes me happy. I know, it's like, what? You're a weirdo, Jaleesa. Yeah, I'm weird and I embrace it. But here's the passage that I was talking about. as far as how it made me feel. I'm going to take out names just to make it not completely spoilery, but just to give you a taste of the descriptions that I found that were unsettling and jaw-dropping. From the other side of the cage, I can hear the steady pop of eggs hatching all over Blank's body. White caterpillars wriggle out, and now she's finally stirring. Blankety Blank turns over slowly in the goopy green fluid. Ooh. Her eyes widen when she sees us, pitch black and gleaming. She crawls toward the three of us, sharp teeth clicking. Then she bites down hard on Blankety Blank's wrist. You hear me? Oh my God. Now, it's not scary. I'm not saying it's scary, but it's just like just thinking about a creature and then hearing the popping of caterpillar eggs. I'm so sorry. I like it when descriptions can make me dry heave. So yeah, that was one of my main likes. Like I said, I wish I had more to like about this book. But unfortunately, that was the only like that I had. So if that's your jam, the caterpillars and the butterflies, and if not specifically those kind of bugs, but just bugs in general, I say pick it up. It may be for you. So after this, I'm going to go on ahead and jump into the part where I have too much to say. And it's like, Jaleesa, you really shouldn't have this much to complain about, but I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm going to tell you about my dislikes. Take it or leave it, but this is how I feel. So let me get some water and I'm going to be right back because my voice is kind of going out. See you in a bit. Oh, hello. The dislikes, y'all. I cannot emphasize enough how much I do not like disliking things. But I know everything's not for everyone. And like I said in the beginning of this episode, this book did a lot of telling versus showing. So I truly disliked how the author told us everything about the characters and about the town. I did not get any experience learning about each character outside of the lens of the person that the book is written in. So the perspective that is written in is for Aja, just one person. So anything that she thinks about something, that's what that's what I'm envisioning. I'm envisioning whatever she's saying. So I'm not able to really build a good idea of who a person actually is, how they actually move, and then how this town is actually created. And that's why when I said before, when I was reading the synopsis, sorry if you hear noise, I think they're moving something upstairs. It's frustrating that I cannot envision this town outside of it seeming very gloomy. That's what I will say. So it seems like it's always raining, and for whatever reason, it's raining blood, or it looks like it's raining blood. In the synopsis, it said black stones. I don't remember black stones. And then because you're in the headspace of Aja always seems a little bit pessimistic most times. If not pessimistic, she is complaining about something or overthinking something. And I don't know if it's because it's YA. That's why it felt kind of cringy for me or what. But yeah, I did not like how everything was from her viewpoint and it was just her telling us about everything. Nobody else was really complaining much about the rain or anything like that. So, yeah. I recall listening to the first part of the book a couple of times. I think I picked it up maybe 2 or 3 times trying to figure out, okay, how is this book starting? Because it opens up with the preparations for Fiona. Fiona is Aja's older sister, her birthday party. And through that scene of the birthday party, you get this idea that Aja like she loves her sister, but she doesn't like how her sister has all the attention. Her sister seems like she's a goody two shoes. Everybody looks up to her. Everybody likes her. She's likable. She's most likely going to be like, she had one of those, what do you call that thing? Superlatives. Most likely to succeed, most likely to do this, most likely to do that. She would have all of the accolades. So that's what I'm getting or getting. Yeah, I was getting that from Aja, but I didn't really hear from anybody else in the book because you're in Aja's head the entire time. You don't really hear about how everyone kind of, I guess, looked up to her sister until close to the end of the book, when everything is revealed as to what happened to her and why it happened. Yeah. But because Fiona disappears around the same time as her birthday, I think it was either the same day or the same week, she disappears. That's what made me nosy, and I kept reading. So I was like, dang, like you lured me in. And then, the rest of the book, I'm still trying to figure out, like, why do we care? The reason why I say that is because Aja makes it seem like, now that my sister's gone, maybe I'll get a little bit of attention. You would think it would be like that, but the disappearance of the sister affects the rest of the family, of course. So she feels the need to look for the sister to get back to normal. I don't know. My mind, it's been so separated from this book, but I do remember feeling like, why do I care whether or not you find your sister? Because it sounds like you didn't like her anyway. You love her, but you don't like her. You know what I mean? I also didn't like that the first person point of view was just, that's all we got. It was just Aja the entire time. That is one of the reasons why I couldn't get comfortable with any of the characters. They were all from one person's perspective. And then it was just making it difficult for the characters to be... It was difficult for the characters to be anything beyond one-dimensional for me, because we're only listening, or we're only in the head of that one person the entire time. So whatever... I'm going to keep repeating this. Whatever Aja saw and felt about somebody... that is the only understanding that I have. I don't know how anybody else feels about each other or the other characters. It was frustrating when I was reading it, because I was like, why don't we like Mary? Why does Mary not like you? Mary is the ex-best BFF, best friend forever. I don't know why they stopped talking to each other. It maybe was mentioned, but it maybe was so... forgetful that I forgot it. So I don't know. Nico, I don't remember who that was. And it seems like that was a friend of hers as well. Then you have these two other people that show up in the church, her classmates, and I don't know how they are related to her, because it seems like they were the friends of her sister. So it's like, you don't really hang around them like that. It was odd. Each person, if I were to create a character profile, it wouldn't be that long, because there wasn't that much depth to them. So, yeah, I did not like that, because it made it where I couldn't build any care for anyone. And then there was this romance aspect that I just didn't think it was necessary. I disliked it, but not disliked it hard. It's not like, oh my God, I hated this. No, I wouldn't say that. It's just that I felt like it was just added there, and it was just like a sprinkle of it, and it was just like a aggressively just teasing. It was strange the way that everything was happening with these two characters. Like, you can tell they were flirting with each other, but I had a hard time understanding whether or not she was flirting because she was under the influence of the vampire. I'm talking about the vampire and Aja. I forgot the vampire's name. I'm not even going to try to remember. But they seem to have something going on. But I can't tell if he's trying to play her at the same time. You see what I mean? So you're trying to figure out whose motives it is. Like, is she really falling in love with this vampire? And if she is it because of her own free will? Or is she falling in love with him because of some kind of influence from him? And then I'm also wondering if it's, mutual. Does he like her because, she's a human and she's wearing his ring and whatever and whatnot? Or is it because he wants has an ulterior motive. Put it like that. Ulterior motive. That's what I'm wondering. So, yeah, those are the things I dislike. As you can see, I had more to complain about there than anything else. I'm going to get some more water again. We might as well just call this a water break. Okay, we're going to call these little interludes water breaks because I want to discuss or just briefly go over what I wanted more of, the questions that I felt needed answers, and who I would recommend this to. I feel like I recommended it to some specific types of readers in the beginning, but I'm just gonna, repeat it again to remind you all, like, this book is for someone. There are ratings out there that are higher than mine. I was not the audience. This book was not for me. We didn't gel together. So yeah, I'm going to get me some water break, and I'll be right back with the other 3 sections of this review, rant, reaction, reflection, all the above, all the R's, and then I'm gonna let y'all go because I feel like I've been talking long enough. Can we all agree? Yes. Gone, but not for too long. I'm back. Had me some water. Actually still drinking some water. Let me sip a little bit more. Yeah, it's getting empty. I'm gonna have to refill it. So what I wanted more of. So I'm gonna squeeze in all 3 of these segments at one time. What I wanted more of, and then questions that need answers, and who I would recommend this book to. But what I wanted more of is I wanted more reasons to care. I wanted more reasons to care about these characters. And this all circles back to the reason why I felt like all of that telling versus showing really, really, really jacked this book up. It made it where this book was very difficult for me to even pull for. When I was in, sprints and stuff and talking to people about the book, they were like, Jaleesa, you don't like this book, do you? I said, no, I don't. I don't like the way that it's written. The author can write. It's just the way that it's written is just, my head is shaking right now because I have no words. I'm speechless. I feel like I keep repeating myself because it was just that much in my face. All of the telling, and not enough showing. Lord, give me strength. So yeah, I'm hoping that this author, with their second book that comes out this year, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. I may wait until I see some other reviews. Who knows? I mean, if I get enough people to listen to this and then ask me to read the next book and see if it's any better, I will, but I'm not going to be running out there to go and get the book. But I'm hoping that the author had, looked at the reviews, maybe got some constructive criticism. I'm still even trying to figure out how I got past editing that this book is more telling than showing. If I can identify that, they should be able to identify that, because I know I am not, trained. I don't have a trained eye for all of this stuff. But if I can see it, your editor should have saw it or should have seen it. That's what I mean. But yeah, it's whatever. The next book she has comes out this year. I may read it, but not this year. I'll read it another year. Because I usually don't read another book from an author that I gave a 2-star book. A 2-star rating to. That's what I mean. But I'll make an exception if, you all want to read together and discuss. I don't mind doing that. Questions that need answers. So questions that need answers. It's just a jumble of stuff in my mind that I always was wondering as I was reading. So again, my main question is, why should I care? The whole time this is going to be very spoilery here. I was wondering, why do we care about this sister that it seems like Aja does not know? I mean, does not care for. Like, she doesn't like her sister, Fiona. Why are we caring about finding her, right? So yeah, clearly I was nosy enough to keep going. But then it's like, as we get further and further into the book, I'm like, maybe your sister's dead and you went into this forest for nothing. But no, we find the sister. It seems like she was the bride or something like that to the vampire. I forgot his name. Don't even ask me. I don't know. The vampire. It seems like he got married to her, but or tried to change her or something. But because she's a newborn, she's stronger and her hunger it just keeps going on, right? But it seems like she's like different. She's from the other vampires, almost like a monster that even they are afraid of, because they had her inside of a cage. She was in the cage with a torn up bride dress, and then she had the caterpillars coming out of her body. This entire time I was trying to figure out where the caterpillars were coming from anyway. I wasn't sure if they were coming from the tree or if they were just coming from the inside of the church. But like the church had a basement underground that went down. Or was it a basement, or was it like a hidden wall? All I know is somebody walked through a picture frame that was covering up a hole, I think. See, I'm fuzzy on that. But I know when they found the sister, she had caterpillars coming out of her body. And it seems like she was just out of her mind. Whatever those caterpillars were, they were coming out of her. They maybe took over her. I'm assuming it was like a parasitic or what's that kind of a symbiotic relationship kind of thing. It's like I need you, you need me kind of thing with the caterpillars in her. But yeah, they found the sister down there. She attacked Noah. I think that's what one of the friends' names was. Noah was under the influence of another vampire, which I forgot her name too. So it was a female vampire and there was a male vampire, and I do not remember their names. But Noah got bit or eaten up, one or the other. And then the sister got out. She crawled out of they were trying to keep her down there. She crawled out of there and she was eating everybody. She ate the other vampires up. And I'm trying to remember who killed her, or did she? I think it was Mary who killed her. Child, you see, I can't even keep it straight. All I know is I still didn't care that they found a sister. Once they found her, I wasn't like, oh my God, you found your sister. Things are going to be looking up. No, I was like, dang, like you should have just stayed at home. You should not have left your house just because the vampire lured you out and made a deal with you that like in 7 days, if you don't like what's going on wherever he is, that he will return you back home. Like it was weird. Making an agreement with a vampire and then thinking that they're going to stick to it. You will always lose. Okay? We know that. I will be hard pressed to find a vampire in any story that is actually loyal to their word. They're always going to do something, find a loophole or something like that to work in their favor. Aja was just dumb character. Not that bright. Not that bright. And then on top of that, like I said, like because she really didn't give us much to work with, there was no care for her sister. I'm so sorry. I didn't care about her sister. I didn't care about her. And I didn't care about the vampires either, or even the other characters. I think the only person where I was kind of like, dang, he didn't make it was, I think, Marco or Mario, Eric, somebody. They found his body eaten inside out from these caterpillars. Oh, take that back. You know what? I should have said this during my likes. I liked the use of the caterpillars for putting, like they would get the vampires. The vampires would get the caterpillars and put it inside of the skin of someone. And basically those caterpillars can eat you from the inside out. Because they're sucking on your blood. I guess they're like vampiric caterpillars. So I thought that was cool. But with that being said, what was the purpose of them outside of that? What was the purpose? Like, are they just your torture bugs? Because at one point there were so many of them coming in and out of different places. I was wondering if they were like the vampire's babies or something. But we don't really know. Nobody's really told us the origin of these caterpillars. That's all I'm trying to say. So that's another question I need to answer. What was the purpose of those caterpillars and the blood siphoning butterflies? I just want to know. Just curious. I just want to know because they were there and they were interesting, but I didn't understand what their purpose was outside of siphoning blood and just being creepy, And lastly, who I would recommend this book to? I would recommend this book to anyone who doesn't really care about character work or character development, as well as anyone who doesn't really need a plot. So if I were to suggest it, I would just tell the person that this book is for people that go into books for vibes. If you're only there for the vibes, if you're looking for something that's kind of dark and hazy and, pretty much on the gothic end of things when it comes to the vibes of a book, then this book is for you. You have to just really not care about the characters or where the plot is going. Just be there for the atmosphere. Because the atmosphere did feel very dark. Like, I don't know if you all noticed this, but when I'm reading, I can sort of envision whether or not there's a change in climate or change in location as far as like light and dark or dusk, whatever you want to call it. So as I was reading this, I felt like there was never any sunshine. I felt like it was a town where it's always raining. It's always foggy. The fog is dense. There's no sun in sight, or did I already say cloudy? I feel like I did. So it's cloudy, it's rainy, it's foggy. Then you have this forest. So it's very eerie. It's like a town that most people maybe would just pass through, if not pass through, maybe avoid it. And then when you think about the church, I saw it as being big, and maybe having some kind of light, but not any, is it artificial light? I think that's what they call it. When you use lamps. I don't think it had that. Like, I'm thinking it's an old kind of cathedral type church with what do you call it? Candles lit. That's what I'm envisioning. And I'm envisioning it being maybe abandoned or dilapidated, but not to the point where it's not livable. Like there's a beauty in it. So you see how I'm explaining it? It sounds like it'll be a good time, but given the characters and their movement and stuff, they don't really make good use of the space of this gothic landscape. So yeah, the book is for somebody. It just wasn't for me. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I think that this is long enough. I've talked and ranted, barely raved about this book. I gave it 2 stars. I will, like I said before, possibly try to read Catherine Yu's book that's coming out this year, just to see if there's been any improvement in the writing. It's going to be a caveat to my kind of unwritten rule of reading another book by an author that I already gave a low rating to. And a 2 really isn't bad. A 2 means it was just okay. But for me, this 2 means aggressively okay. And the only reason why I got a 2 and not something below a 2 is because I did enjoy the use of the caterpillars. I maybe didn't understand the entire purpose of them, nor do I know the origin of them, but I enjoyed the use of them. Okay, catch that. So I'm going to let you all go. I need to start getting ready for this party. My voice is going out, if you can't tell. But it's been real catching up with you all, talking books or talking this book. I plan on maybe doing another one for, which book is it? Double Lives by Mary Monroe. And I have some other ones in the queue, I'm thinking about doing reviews for. I do still want to do a review for A Little Life. But not anytime soon, because I'm not really sure if I want to make it long or short. That's the thing. I know how I feel about it, but I'm not really sure how to communicate it so that people are able to get the gist of it as well as get the spoilery version of it at the same time. Because I don't want to be living in a little life for too long. But that's not why we're here. We were here because of Direwood, but I'm just giving you some kind of updates of what to expect now that I've done this talk about Direwood. Direwood. That's how you know I'm tired. So I'm going to let you all go. Until next time, I want you to remember to drink your water, mind the business that's yours, and continue reading beyond the book's cover. My name is Jaleesa, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.